400, the good days.
Sold it for 400.
I hope the weather's good.
The blue goose. Sure. Ronnie Devine, the teacher in Bigfoot. Sure. Ronnie's good people.
Yeah. That's good.
Mark, how are you?
Oh, so it is going.
We must have went to the same.
We didn't get the memo this morning.
We didn't get the memo.
No.
That was an American Family one anyway. Yeah.
I don't have all the logo, I just got the number. How close are you?
We're there. Let's call this meeting to order. Roll call.
Michael Binrose,
Here,
Jodelle Carlson. Here. Lauren Steger,
here.
Jerry Gibbons,
Here.
Scott Purdy.
Here.
Mark Ruch,
Here.
Pamela Shaw.
Pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Approval of minutes from June 23, 2026.
I'll make a motion, we approve the minutes from June 23rd, 2026.
Second.
Motion's been made, seconded. Any questions? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Next item is the occupancy permit 38.04.06 review, continued from November 25, 25th, 2025, April 20, 2026, and June 23rd, 2026. Motion to remove from the table, review and discussion to create new occupancy permit for 135 North Street properties applicant Chuck. I know we've been working on this and been trying to come to a conclusion. And so we tabled it from last week, last month, and I think now we need to try to find a way forward. And I think what we need to do first, and the attorney will correct me if I'm wrong, but we need to come up with a timeline as far as doing that, giving Mr. Dorn time to respond in writing. 14 days as to what his plan is. And then we can go from there. We can hold a public hearing also if we need to. And that would be our process. And then we could stop that permit and continue on with another one if we so choose. Correct. That is what I've found in stuff I've looked up. I've learned a lot in the last few weeks. That is the main thing to do at this point.
That's correct.
We need to make sure our ducks are in a row, and by doing what I just stated, that's how we get there. With the letter or the email we all received from Mr. Dorn, I think that's the way to go. You guys can tell me if it's different. That's the way I think this board should move forward.
My question is that we were gonna look at, designing a new, occupancy permit for that piece of property, whatever happened to that.
We have to stop this one before we can give it.
Sorry?
We have to stop this one to give him a new one, before we can give it.
We never approved the old one, did we?
We've got a signed copy.
I mean, didn't he come here
He
to
asked,
try and get his old one? He
updated,
was on the agenda, right?
right,
To get that
Right.
accepted
Now
or
he's-
not accepted.
and you read this letter, right, or email?
I read it, yeah.
So I think we have to go the other way unless you think otherwise, that's what I'm saying.
Now, have we drafted a new occupancy permit
We
or?
have not.
We have not. Okay.
We're trying to get the old one just
already know that he is not in compliance with the old occupancy permit.
So.
And the
at this
reason
point,
we know
stop
that is because of the very first condition on that thing, right?
You're right.
I have it right here, you know, number 1, 3 words, right? No outdoor storage. That was the 3 words in there. And that was not only on that, but on the original one, right?
Correct.
So, now what are you proposing to do?
Well, we have to stop that one and make a new one, or he needs to comply with the old. And that's what we would be doing, asking him again to comply with the old permit.
Okay.
So what happens if you stop this one at this point?
That
When
one,
there's no occupancy, until there's no occupancy permit, right?
I think to stop that, we need to go through the steps.
Right.
I mean, there's other things we could probably do because of the condition, but I think this is the way to go. I'll leave it up to you guys. That is what I have found from state statutes. The railroad, as far as being on railroad property, doesn't mean a thing, because his business does not entail any railroad transportation, interstate commerce, anything like that.
So, your question is what?
My question is, should we follow those steps, or if you want to do something different, I would not be for that.
I would recommend following those steps.
Yeah, I thought we had already made it, and I could be wrong. That
Well,
we
we've
made a
tried, and then we
decision
got this, and, right,
that this-
we have, but we need to do it right.
We did not wanna honor this occupancy permit.
Well, we want to.
We wanted to draft a new one.
We do, if he's not gonna follow the old.
Yeah, well, the new one will have terms similar to the old one, I'm sure.
Right.
Right?
I would think.
Why wouldn't it?
Right.
So what you're actually proposing, if I hear you right, that we deny him his old occupancy permit, and that we look at what?
We give him, first off, we give him the timeline here, basically, we're just telling him that we're going to deny it unless he gives us his plan in writing within 14 days. We will send him a letter to that effect.
And when you say deny, you're talking, and I just wanna make sure I'm clear too, that as far as revoking the old permit, is what you're saying.
Right,
So-
revoking
So
the
instead
old,
of denying, like, really, we're revoking it.
we're revoking the old permit
We're giving him notice that we're revoking it, and then he has
for
time to respond.
non-compliance.
Yep, and then he has time to respond, and then we can have a hearing on that issue. And then depending on what is received at that hearing, then we can proceed with the revocation. That's essentially the procedure.
Okay, so we're gonna revoke his old occupancy permit.
Well,
Are
we don't know that yet.
Are we
We don't
even
know that
gonna
yet.
look
We're taking
at a
action.
new occupancy permit for him?
But that would come potentially after, if the old one is revoked, that would happen. If the old one is not revoked, following a hearing, then, there potentially are other enforcement mechanisms that could be accomplished by the village. I think that's kind of what Mark is saying, is there's other options, but those may not be the best options at this time. Because I don't know if they're gonna do anything, quite honestly, right? I mean, that's number one. Number two, we're just looking for compliance. That's always what we're looking for. So, trying to put the wheels in motion to ensure compliance. If compliance isn't done, then no occupancy permit.
And what's your determination of compliance?
Got the conditions
We
in
have to
front.
write it down.
You gotta be following the conditions, but we haven't had the hearing yet to know that, right? I mean, that's what the hearing is for. So, not saying that there might not be common knowledge that some of these things aren't being followed, or maybe it's open and obvious that these things aren't being followed, but until we have that hearing, no determination can really be made. that's where that takes place.
Okay, so for him to operate though, he still needs to have a occupancy permit, right? Like, because all the other businesses in this community have a conditional use permit that comes up for renewal on an annual basis. That's
Right.
what we've established.
Right.
And everybody in town so far, if I'm correct, has already followed this procedure, and we've accepted their conditional use permit because they were in compliance with their conditional uses. Is that correct?
That's right.
So we have one left, and that's this occupancy permit
Correct.
that we're trying to get resolved. Right?
Correct.
Okay,
Although, I mean, I get there was others, but those others really have nothing to do with this one. I mean, they're all separate.
well, his is the only occupancy permit that we have in this community, isn't it?
Well, I understand, that's because of the zoning issue, but,
Yeah,
I mean, it's a similar process.
yeah, that's why I said that.
Mhm.
You know?
Right.
So,
If you've got a new one drawn up, ask Mr. Dorn, he's here.
you said we didn't have a new one.
We don't, I said if you have one drawn up, if you wanna do it that way. I don't see it, but
I thought we were gonna work on that.
after this, I'm not sure anybody's
That
gonna
letter
work with
turned
it.
you against
It did.
anything?
Yep, you bet.
Okay, it put a bitter taste in
It
your
did,
mouth.
yep.
So Chuck kind of,
Look, I'm open to anybody, I'm
Yeah.
willing to work with anybody, but,
yeah,
no.
yeah. I like the part where you're willing to work with anybody, you know, that, because
We have
Let's
been
face
trying
it,
for,
this-
how many, 7 months, 8 months?
this occupancy permit has been in effect for over 20-something
It
years.
is.
He has had no issues with anybody in our community, none, that I know of.
Except the village.
Is that true?
What's that?
He has no issues with anybody in our, no complaints, no, but
I
he
think they're
hasn't
coming in now.
complied. Bottom line though is, he hasn't complied with his occupancy permit. And the number one issue is what? First- Yeah, so if he's in non-compliance, he's gotta get in compliance before we'll issue him an occupancy permit. Isn't that the way it works?
I mean, yes, except we have an occupancy permit. So we don't have to issue a new one, but if he's not going to comply with it, we have one of the options we have is to revoke it.
Okay,
That's the hammer, right? To say, get in compliance or else.
so are you saying you don't think he's gonna comply with it?
Doesn't
I
matter
don't
what
know that.
doesn't matter what I think.
Huh?
Do you think he is?
Let me think about that one before I answer, you know that? I'm gonna say that he's had that occupancy permit for well over 20-something years. Had no issues with it, but he hasn't been in compliance with it. So that means he needs to get in compliance if we're gonna issue him an occupancy permit, period. You know that?
I mean, that's your decision, not mine, but, I mean, generally speaking, yes, it's often what's required, right?
Yeah. I think it was a bad thing on Chuck's part to write that letter. But he did. And you can't take away something that's in black and white. So what are your recommendations sitting there?
I concur with, Mark's, timeline as far as the process and procedure to go forward, if revoking the permit is what you want to do. As far as the policy of whether he's in compliance, not in compliance, whether you wanna revoke it, not revoke it, that's your all decision, not mine. That's not a legal decision, that's a policy decision. But whatever decision you make, then the legal mechanism in order to do that is the next step, right? But I'm I'm not here to give you advice on whether you want him in compliance or not in compliance. That's your decision. You're the individuals who make that decision, not the lawyer. If you're asking me how to revoke an occupational permit, then that's my job to advise you on that. So, but I don't set policy, I don't run the village, I never have. That's not my role. There's some attorneys that do that, that's not my role. That would be, that's what you have staff for to advise you on. That's what decision you all have to make.
So,
Because another option, which I don't know if this, that anybody's interested in, is to do nothing. There's another option. You guys do not have to
we're
enforce
not,
something.
we never were never gonna do nothing.
Okay.
We never discussed never doing nothing.
I'm just
That
saying
was-
that those decisions are yours, so.
Right, that was brought up to us, that he needed to renew his occupancy permit. That's why it came on the agenda, right?
It's the last of the lunch.
And then we had copies of his occupancy permit from 20-something years ago, 2004, 22. Yeah. Huh?
So your name's on the original.
I know it is, but I'm just a little disappointed in Chuck not complying with his occupancy permit. Cause he, what,
So
No.
we move on, we do something.
so, we are gonna do something. That's why we're here. But, so if we, deny him his occupancy permit, what's that do?
Well, you're not doing that at this point. What you would be doing is making a recommendation to revoke it, providing
Oh,
notice that
okay,
that you intend to.
If his
revoke.
occupancy gets revoked, is he able to still conduct business?
No,
Okay, so
But
you're
there is a
actually taking,
timeline. There is a timeline. Where
Okay.
once we make the recommendation to remove, then we set so many days to have a hearing. So he's not out tomorrow.
okay,
So there is a process.
And he comes up with a plan.
Yes, like, I feel like this is just going to force the issue to get everybody to a place where everybody's happy.
Yeah.
Both sides.
right. I mean, again, the goal is compliance. I mean, the hammer is how hard you wanna hit it, but, right, I think the goal is if there's a plan and he follows through with that plan, then perhaps.
and the
it-
plan is in Chuck's hands, right?
Correct, yep,
He's the one that's gonna determine his future.
right.
He's the one that's gonna convince us that he's gonna, on the occupancy permit, the conditions are gonna be adhered to.
Well,
That's what the
I
plan
don't know
would
if
be,
it's that
right?
simple, cause there's other options, and I don't necessarily wanna get into them all, but I mean, yes, if the village's position is, we want compliance, we can move to start the process to revoke the occupancy permit. Give them an opportunity to respond to that. If we're looking for a plan, we can make that we're not gonna revoke it as long as there's a plan. Or we can still revoke it, issue a new one based on that plan. However you all wish to proceed, you will have still a time and an opportunity for compliance. If, based upon what efforts are made or not made, again, you all get to make that decision on how you want this to look or go forward. You also may determine at the end of the hearing that he is in compliance at that point. I'm not saying that's the case, but that's what the hearing is.
Yeah. You know what concerns me is that we're looking at possibly taking a man's life as a week. But the guy that's been doing this for 20-something years, I don't know how many times I've gotta say that, because this thing was never brought up until now, right? So, and let's face it, the bottom line, he has not been in compliance. So, and I thought he understood that. And that's why he was going to,
He does understand.
he was gonna make the corrections, right? Didn't he tell you that? So what happened? He wrote a letter.
He wrote a letter that says, if we do anything else, he's gonna take us to court, so let's just.
And that a threat or a promise?
What's that?
Is that a threat or
No,
a promise?
You ask him, he's right there. Ask him right there.
Do we have, is he able to speak? Sure. Chuck, you heard that question, right?
I did not, to tell you the truth, because I didn't think I was gonna be allowed to
Okay.
speak.
Why wouldn't you? This is your occupancy we're talking about, so.
Yeah,
What's the question?
the question was the letter that you wrote to, was it you or all of us?
All of us.
That wrote to all of us, was that a threat or a promise to proceed with litigation?
No, what that was a notice that I'm fed up with the situation. You guys keep referring to this occupancy permit. Look at the village records. It is nothing more than a conditional use permit it just dressed in a different coat. And the fact is that you cannot enforce a conditional use on that property because it is not zoned. And that is not contrary to what one of you told me at one of the meetings. That's not a mistake, because I've been up to Elkhorn. I've been to the recorder of deeds. I've been doing my homework. I don't believe you have the authority to enforce what you're talking about enforcing. And I asked at the last meeting for some type of information, documentation, give me statute numbers, give me ordinance numbers, that gives you the authority. And you were gonna provide it today.
I don't think I said that.
I don't remember.
When was this said?
Because,
At the last meeting.
because all the ordinances are online, and we told you that's where you
I
can
can't
find
say
them.
that right here.
We told you they were online. That's what was said.
And I went through and I cannot find any authority. So I'm asking you, I can't prove a negative. All you have to do is give me that information and we can go from there.
Is there water in the building?
I'm
Is
not-
there water in the building?
I am not testifying.
I'm asking you, is the water hooked
I
up to
am
the
not
building?
testifying.
Okay, you know Wisconsin State Building Code requires that any business has to have sanitary and running water to be open.
Not open to the public.
It doesn't matter. But
You can say
I'm
that.
just saying, those are things we can enforce today. And I'm trying to give you a way to
And
come.
Jerry, this is why I sent the letter. Because the comment was made by the zoning administrator last month. Oh, well, fine, then we'll just go after him for water and sewer. That's what precipitated my letter, and I don't regret sending it.
Unfortunately, Chuck, I was not here last month.
Well,
And
I,
that, so, anything that is said, I don't know.
it's just like in the agenda here. I am not applying for an occupancy permit. Because I don't believe I need one. And the village has not shown me where I need one.
I think we'll leave it at that, sign that, go with that.
I'll make a motion that we, remove or revoke the, occupancy permit for 135 North Street.
I second it.
Okay, can I ask why?
Well, I think we've discussed it long enough. It's evident that Chuck doesn't want to comply with the things that we've asked him to comply with. You know, you talked about your outdoor storage, you know, that's one of them. You know, and then there's
The first one.
and then there's several more, if you look at the roof of the building, okay? Well, that is why I think,
I got it right here.
okay, that's
number
fine.
3.
That's why
That says property to be maintained in compliance with all Village of Sharon municipal and zoning ordinances.
okay,
Okay, I have it right here.
that's fine. That's
I
why I
was-
made the motion, Jerry.
Okay, so I was asking the question why, and you answered,
Yep,
right?
I hope I gave you sufficient answer.
Yeah, that was good enough for me. So, that's why you made the motion to revoke his current occupancy permit, right? That would be that one dated April 29th, 2004, right? 27-04-04B, am I right?
I don't have that specific one, but apparently Mark does, or Jerry does, or. Yeah,
Well, then I call it vote.
To approve the process. We need to make it the process of denying, start the process.
Correct, really, the motion to revoke is a motion to start the revocation process.
If you want to in that language,
okay, to revoke the,
start the process.
to start the process for the, to revoke the current occupancy permit.
Again,
Motion's been made and seconded to start the process to revoke occupancy permit for. That's 135. 135 North Street Properties, applicant Shuffle.
you want this?
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Aye.
Motion carries. Motion to, roll call, motion and roll call, vote to go into closed session as allowed by Wisconsin statute 19.851G. Conferring with legal counsel that will orally or in writing advise the plan commission on strategy with respect to current or likely litigation. Roll call vote?
Michael Bimros,
Yes.
Joe Carlson,
Yes.
Lauren Steger,
Yes.
Jerry Gibbons.
What am I gonna say yes or no to?
To go into closed session.
Oh, yes.